Hi guys, it's been a while here, but there's something that has been bothering me that I wanted to share with you, and it's a sensitive topic. It's mental health. I know mental health is not something we often talk about, especially in the part of the country where I come from, Africa. Uh, Things like state of mental health or depression is hardly spoken about because it seems like taboo. And I know it often affects the men most. In Africa, there's a lot of demand on men. There's a lot of expectation from family members, from spouses, from society, from friends, a lot of demand, and especially peer pressure. Peer pressure doesn't stop at youth age or secondary school or primary school stage. It's throughout life. My friends have achieved this. I have not achieved this. That can lead to depression. That can lead to a state of mental health that is not desirable. And another thing is demands from here and there. And in Africa they will tell you, man up. You have to be a man. You have to be a man. That's what we hear in Africa all the time. And the men are dying. The rate of suicide is high. Men are committing suicide. Men are going into depression. A lot of things are happening, and the society says men should man up. That's what the society keeps saying. But in the part of the world where I currently live, in Canada, mental health is not downplayed, right? Your state of mental health is really, really spoken about here because I think I hear more of mental health crises and challenges here, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's more here. It's just like more spoken about, is recognized, right? And there are resources in place to deal with that. And why I'm able to talk about this is because I've once been in a state of mental health that is not desirable for myself, right? It was a job I took, and it took a toll on my mental health, right? I wasn't myself, even though the job was dignifying, it was paying well and all of that. I wasn't really happy. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. The mental challenge of the job, the expectation, lack of support is not there. Lack of support. I didn't have the required support for the job, and I couldn't function well. It affected me both at home and on the job. And I spoke to myself, can I allow this job to take away my happiness? And I had to go for therapy. When you hear things like therapy in Africa, it seems like it's something very, very serious. Like when you hear of somebody has a mental health challenges in Nigeria or Africa, any other part of Africa, it seems like, oh, the person has run mad. No, going for therapy helps you to realign yourself, like where you are, what's bothering you, what can you do to make it better. To cut the long story short, I had to look for another job while keeping the current one because of bills. In this part of the world, we pay bills monthly. It's not like yearly in Africa. You pay most things one off in Africa. Here is monthly, so you can't afford to leave a job without having another one. Like I could have left my job in Africa and still have some money to sustain for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months before I get another. But it's not the case here. So in the midst of that depression, I was looking for another job, not just another job, an equally paying or more job, which eventually took a long time, but I achieved it eventually. But within that period, I was going for therapy session. I was having discussion with a counselor. The person was assuring me there is hope and all of that. And that's what we actually need as men. And why I'm even saying this is, in this part of the world, in Canada, you need to build community of friends sometimes that you can talk to, people that you can share your mind with. Back in Africa, we have more of that. Like you to have and build friendship is not really hard. People are not that busy. Here you're busy every day. You hardly have time to create connection, so you have to go out of your way to be deliberate, to hang out with friends, build community of friends that can help and support you mentally when you're down. So why am I talking about this? Because I know that a lot of men are going through mental health crisis. A lot of men are depressed because of demands, maybe even from Africa. You are here, a lot of demands are coming to you, or maybe on your job, you're trying to keep that job because it pays you so much, but it's costing you your happiness. I just want to let you know today that there is no job that should cost your happiness. There's no job that should affect your mental health. You need to keep your head high. You need to sustain a good mental health because this life is short. You cannot afford to stay depressed. You just have to speak to someone. If it's necessary, go for therapy. If you want to talk to friends, build connections, talk to people, but don't ignore your mental health, right? It's very, very important. I hope you're able to pick one of the things from what I've shared with you today, and have a wonderful day. Bye.